Hi guys, welcome back to Wealth Practices. Roughly 6 out of 10 Americans do not have enough funds to meet a $500 or $1,000 unexpected emergency. That's terrifying because if something goes wrong, you'll have to take out unnecessary loans or, worse, pay credit card interest. They might rise by 20% or even 30%. To pay that much interest, you must be insane. But what else can you do when you don't have any other options? Those that do save money, however, apparently do not have much in their savings account. In fact, savings increased dramatically during the pandemic era since we were obliged to stay at home and collect stimulus checks, but that is now catching up with us with the biggest inflation in 4 decades. Despite the Fed's best efforts, boosting interest rates hasn't helped. Maybe things could have been much worse if it hadn't been for the Fed's intervention, but we'll never know because we don't have a machine that can transport us to another reality. When over 60% of the population claims they have less than $1,000 in their savings account, you know we have a problem because $1,000 is unlikely to meet the rent. What if you become sick, have an accident, or are fired? What are you going to do? I understand that it is difficult to save when we are surrounded by so many items that encourage us to spend. Even before the video began, you most likely saw an advertisement urging you to visit their website and spend money. Let me clarify something. Spending money isn't always a negative thing. There is nothing wrong with purchasing something that you require or desire. What's the sense of working if you're not going to make any money? Furthermore, spending is what propels the economy ahead. Without sufficient expenditure, we will see deflation, which will hinder economic growth. People sometimes grumble that they can't save because they need to pay for their basic needs, but they wind up buying $5 coffee and avocado toast every morning. Again, nothing wrong with it as long as you save a significant portion of your paycheck. I don't believe in saving every penny possible because life isn't simply about saving money. It's all about the experiences. And having fun with friends and spending money is part of that. However, if you are just starting out, you cannot afford to spend every dime you earn. You must accumulate capital that will work on your side. The issue is that only a few wealth killers erode your budget the most. You will be able to save and develop a fortune if you can get rid of them. If you're ready, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get started. Car. If you've ever owned a car, you're probably aware of how expensive it is to own one. In reality, many drivers are unaware of the exact cost of their vehicles. In 2020, the average monthly cost of a new automobile was $575. However, this is far from the total expense of owning a car. And that is in 2020. It's significantly more than that due to a chip shortage and excessive inflation. And that's just your monthly payments, not including insurance, gas, and, most importantly, maintenance. When I obtained my first automobile, I also discovered how frequently I began to drive. I began driving everywhere, even when it was not absolutely essential. Gas is expensive, especially these days, and being stopped in traffic every day may cost a fortune. However, if you have a family, having a car makes sense, especially if public transportation is not an option. But, for God's sake, if you're single, save and invest that money. You'll be grateful later. 2. Poor habits. Consider how much people spend on alcohol, for example. What a fortune. It may not seem like much, but $20 here and $30 there pile up over the course of a month. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that Americans spend roughly 1% of their gross annual income on alcohol. That's $565 per year for the average household, $5,650 in 10 years, and a stunning $22,600 over a 40-year period. That doesn't seem like much. But don't be misled by this figure. It includes all Americans, including those who do not drink and those who drink only once or twice a year. If just those who drink on a regular basis are included, the figure is significantly higher. Regular drinkers typically spend a few $100s per month. The same is true for smoking, gambling, and other vices. A pack of cigarettes costs $6.28 on average, so a pack-a-day habit costs $188 per month or $2,292 per year. These figures may not bind you, but if you consider the opportunity cost, you will most likely abandon these practices quickly. If you put that $2,292 every year into an index fund with a 7% return and the power of compound interest, you'll have $365,883 after 40 years. Add in the medical expenditures you'll incur as a result of your poor habit, and you might as well declare bankruptcy. 3. Spending money to impress others. My self-esteem was really low in school since I was performing poorly, yet as social animals, we all want to be valued by those around us. Because we have so many insecurities, we want to be respected. And, when we don't know how to deal with our fears, we often spend money to prove to others that we are just as excellent as them. Why do you believe people purchase Rolex watches? To be honest, a Rolex watch literally solves one problem: telling the time, although even Rolex owners frequently use their phones to check the time. People continue to spend tens of thousands of dollars on them, though, since they have successfully positioned themselves as a luxury brand worn by renowned and wealthy people. So we buy them to convey to people that, hey guys, I make a lot of money. I can buy a Rolex. Most individuals buy that type of watch to impress others, which is fine if you can afford it. However, if you can barely afford a Mercedes and still decide to buy one, you have just created a tremendous financial headache for yourself. 4. Paying exorbitant interest rates. Credit cards are fantastic. It's probably the best strategy to improve and maintain your credit score. It is critical because it can assist you in obtaining loans with cheaper interest rates. But this is where things go horribly wrong. When you use a credit card to pay for things you cannot afford, you will not be able to pay off your credit card debt at the end of the month, and interest will begin to accrue. Have you ever pondered the high interest rates on credit cards? They could be as high as 20% or 30%. In comparison to credit card interest rates, your mortgage interest might appear to be pennies. That may not seem like a big concern, but 41% of credit card users reported not paying their payments on time. That is what these banks are banking on. They wish for you to forget. It's no surprise that total credit card debt in the United States has surpassed $1 trillion. So, if you can't control your spending habits, especially if they're awful, don't ever apply for credit. 5. Pursuing a woman. That is the one certainty in life. There will always be a lady who attracts you, and if you can't stop yourself, you're doomed. They abound in the world, but you must remember that your time and resources are limited. Even if you have $100 million, it is quite easy to squander that money on a woman in the blink of an eye. Money isn't as vital as time, which you might spend creating your business, side hustle, or whatever will bring true riches. Unless you learn to control your desire to pursue women, you will never achieve financial independence because there will always be a woman who will spend whatever savings you have earned. These are only 5 of many wealth destroyers, but they are most likely the most serious. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.